Good morning. Welcome to the Medicare Cafe. We are in the pre-chat portion. So if you're like, these people just talk about absolutely nothing, why am I wasting my time? Wait 3 minutes. If you're watching the recorded version, scoot ahead 3 minutes and we might talk about something great and awesome. But before we do, you're joined by your host today. My name is Olivia Richardson.
And I'm Clayton Clemens.
We're excited to be here. I love
That's
this.
how me and Ben start the cafe every time. We end up swaying back and forth while we're waiting for it to load.
You can't help it. So I hope everybody, I don't know, I have this thing where I don't care about anybody that I don't see. So, but I hope everybody else is having a kind of wonderful and enjoying the weather that mid-Missouri has been getting. It's 80 degrees today and then 14 tonight, which is confusing. It's supposed to snow 2 inches, I think.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And I was baffled because my wife was talking about, well, we're going to dress Aubrey in for today. I'm like, shorts and a parka.
I know. I literally was sending my kid to school today. I'm like, here's jeans, winter boots, flip-flops, a sweatshirt, also a winter jacket, and your t-shirt today.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
If you need to cut the sleeves off, go for it, big guy.
Honestly, listen. He is my son. He doesn't own a shirt with sleeves. Everything is cut off. So welcome. Good morning, Brian. First of all, to the people who are aware, Brian, who is very vocal on the cafe. Brian he was, again, persuaded. We saw Brian at the Medicare
Sales University.
Thank you. Medicare Sales University in Blue Springs. We were at that event on Thursday, which was a really cool event. We got to see Brian there, and he even got on stage to talk nice things about us.
It was amazing.
It was amazing and totally unexpected, except for the fact we asked him to do it. But we do really appreciate that. I saw a lot of members from the cafe there, so thank you guys for showing up. If you just can't get enough of us, make sure on March 15th, it's that Thursday.
I think it's 14th.
March 14th, we will be in Des Moines, Iowa as well. I will not be there, but Clayton will be there as well as a couple other members of our team to talk about ancillary products. That was 90% of the event was ancillary products. We talked about the future of Medicare supplements and the future of Medicare Advantages from our perspective as well as the perspective of the carriers themselves. And I think we got a lot of good stuff out of this. Brian's moment of weakness.
I would say I really liked the hearing about the future of med sups because it was the carriers, somewhat pretending to be actuarials, but they get the concept. They get what their companies are doing.
The math of that was really impressive to kind of figure that out. And
just on the fly. They're this comes in, we see this much money going out. It
was the meme of all the numbers and the mathing. It literally, I got hives at that moment in time. I was there are too many intelligent people talking about too many intelligent things, and I need to leave.
It's I'm allergic to this.
I am not welcomed here. But I think they brought up some good points. The future Medicare supplement, we ought to have a meeting. Actually, we have a meeting next week. Integrity is telling us what is the future of Medicare supplements. So more clarity will be coming out. We'll probably talk about it on next week's cafe. But the biggest thing is just making sure that you're prepping yourself and you're prepping your clients for some significant rate increases on everything other than Plan N. Plan N is going to be really, really stable. So if you aren't writing Plan N, you really need to be looking into that. But just knowing that COVID, the delay of people going to the doctor, and the baby boomers aging in, a lot of people were waiting to get on Medicare to get some pretty intense procedures. The combination of those two things are causing a lot of strain on med sups. And so as long as you can remember why people buy med sups. In the absence of, what was that saying? In the absence of value, there's only price. So knowing that it's not going to quote or price themselves out of relevance.
Yeah.
But just knowing that the value, you need to make sure that people truly understand the value of a med sup. So just kind of getting ready for that. That's going to be a weird transition going into 2024.
Yeah, the thing that stuck with me the most from that was they kept referring to it's the freedom of choice with the med sup. It's at the end of the day, people are still going to want to be able to have the freedom to go where they want, and a med sup is their path to do it. So that helps me kind of be well, how are they going to compete with these things? They can say, go wherever you want to go.
I will say it like this. I am your perfect med sup client because I'm just lazy. I don't want to compare providers based on network. Yeah. I'm not a rebate person. I'm not a coupon person. I overspend all the time. And it's not because I have a bunch of excess income. It's because I am that lazy to do that. So I'm your perfect MedSup client. Maybe that's harsh on MedSup clients. I am the lazy one.
This is how I fit the mold.
Yeah. But something that we were really excited about moving past talking about the future method of Medicare Advantage, when we were at Blue Springs last week talking to agents, talking to carriers, talking to fellow partners, something that actually Clayton had this incredible idea was to talk about, and that was exactly what our topic is today. Old versus new marketing, old school versus new school, and what that looks like. So tell me a little bit about what gave you this idea to do it like this.
Yeah, so one of the panels, they were talking about social media.
It was a spicy panel.
It was a spicy panel. Yeah, that was a good time.
It was a spicy one.
So my brain got churning on just thinking of okay, so they're talking about all these different techniques that we've talked about in the cafe before. Mm-hmm. We've talked a lot about different ways to market yourself via social media. But a big part of it too was one of our good friends, Chris Weir, was there. And you might know him. He's from Lead Concepts. That's what I just want to get the name wrong.
CEO. Yeah, founder, CEO, Lead Concepts.
So he does a lot of mailers, and kind of made me think. I was like, well, he knows the value of social media, but his whole company is on a very old school tactic with mailers. Mm-hmm. And he blended the two ideas so well of talking about both of these. I'm like, I don't think we should only be focusing on all of these new school techniques. Mm-hmm. There's still a lot of validity. There's still a lot of value that could be found in these old school techniques. Mm-hmm. And it's more so about how can we pair these together? Mm-hmm. What's the pros and cons? What are you trying to get out of these marketing styles? So just kind of wanted to put some old school ways out there, some new school ways, and talk about blending them together.
I think it's adaptive, right? Being adaptive. If you're still doing things the way that you did in 2013, you're still going to see success, but not nearly as much success if you can adapt to what the market's doing today. So I really like this concept. When I first started here, it was when I first started with Senior Marketing Specialist, social media for a business was a new concept. Yeah. It was a question of should we do this? Should we not? What does it look like? And just to kind of see the evolution from what marketing looked like back then to now. But you're absolutely right. There's things that are I think it's we're tried and true meet where's the industry going and merging those two together. I love that.
Being where they are now.
Yeah. Let's start with some of the old school stuff.
So old school, this was my little ode to Chris Weir and putting mailers first. Because as we know, I'll start off with a couple cons on mailers. Mm-hmm. We know the return rates are not what they used to be, which weren't great back then. And they've gone kind of downhill. I know you can talk more on the numbers.
It depends on my perspective of this. It depends on what mailer you're talking about and being really clear. Yeah. Typically when we talk about mailers, when you see most of the numbers out there about mailers, they're specifically Medicare or Medicare Advantage type mailers, which back in the day when in 2013, we were really excited with the 1.5 return rate. Now you're lucky to get a 0.1 return rate on a Medicare mailer.
Right. So I think what we're looking more towards with mailers now, correct me if I'm wrong, is more the ancillary products. Stuff they're not seeing as often.
Got to be careful with ancillary products. One in particular, right? We always say dental, vision, hearing. And the reason why dental, vision, hearing works when other ancillary products don't, honestly, is dental, vision, hearing, and final expense. Those two mailers still work, and they work very well. They work because they don't take explanation. Right. They don't take trust. And especially on the DVH, they're really, really affordable. And people understand how it works. They understand the need for it. Why I am careful was actually a conversation I had with Chris. I was like, we need to do a cancer mailer. We need to do a hospital indemnity mailer. We need to do some of these other products. And he's like, I've tried it. They don't work because people either don't understand it and you can't explain it. Like a hospital indemnity, you can't really explain it on a postcard, understand what it really is. More importantly, though, people never think it'll happen to them. Dental, vision, hearing is not scary. It's, yes, I'm going to get my teeth cleaned. Yes, I might have some cavities. That's not a scary product. But people don't believe they're going to get cancer. They know the numbers. They know it out there, but that could never happen to me. So people don't respond to those because it doesn't seem like it's applicable to them. So that's why final expense and DVH, those mailers actually have performed pretty well.
Yeah, so obviously those mailers are going to be our kind of go-to referrals or what we recommend, but then also looking at just sending pieces of mail to your current clients. I didn't want to make this only about the lead, but also talking about like the retention.
Yeah,
So
marketing is good.
there's still some great benefits there of going with the mail pieces. I lumped the next group into kind of the printed media that we're seeing kind of go even further to the wayside with different flyers or door hangers and newspapers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
These are used to be tactics a lot of people used when more people were door knocking. Flyers being posted everywhere. Like you go downtown, there's a bajillion flyers. Like,
right.
Those are more so not going to be for business friendly things anymore.
Right.
And then newspapers. We all know like that is a big ad source a lot of people still use, and there's still a lot of validity there, but newspapers kind of slowly dying. I know I was talking with Kendra yesterday of trying to find the Kansas City Star somewhere, and I was like, look for a newspaper boy hat. If you find him, he's usually by a cobbler. You're like, we're gonna have a shoe place. So like, if you find that, you can probably find a Kansas City Star.
Well, it's adapting and understanding. Like I know a lot of these old school techniques in some areas. I think a lot of this is like area driven as well. Because like in my hometown, where like the internet's still kind of new to us.
Yeah.
Newspaper is still alive and well and thriving and in more rural areas because, again, that's just where people, where people are used to getting their news and things kind of time travels a little slower in some of those rural areas. Yeah. But I think it's a question when it comes to a lot of these techniques is that we need to ask ourselves, are we doing what always worked? Are we appealing to the clients we have or are we appealing to the clients we want? So yeah, your 75 to 85-year-old clients, they probably are still using the newspaper. They probably aren't using an iPad or using technology like before, but they're also the people who are harder to underwrite, going to be on the books not as long. Let's not like it's a business at the end of the day. Yeah. And they're people that you're going to have a more difficult time doing business with. I want to do business with the baby boomers. I want to do business with the turning 65er.
Yeah.
They are the ones that are using online technology. They are the ones that are not grabbing a newspaper, but just looking up stories online. So you got to kind of ask yourself, yes, there is still a place for that, but like making sure that you're working with the type of clients that you want.
Yeah, and as that kind of continues to fizzle further out of the realm, it's just exactly that. It's just making sure that's the clientele that you wanted to go after.
Keep in mind, too, with the door-to-door. I love door-to-door. Integrity has since posted that with the new updates and the new changes that if you have a Medicare Advantage contract, you are not allowed to go door to door. I agree because mom and dad told me to, but I do think there is still a space to do door to door for your networking. If I like the idea of, we talked about like the birthday bags where it's like your name, your logo, your everything is printed on this bag. Somebody turns 64 years old, you either mail it to them or you deliver it to them and say anything with the word Medicare or Social Security, put it on this bag and 6 months we'll go through it together. And it eliminates your competition. It creates, your name, they see your logo, it creates brand familiarity. It really, really works. But just knowing that like it's a year-long investment because you're not really going to see the fruits of your labor until they turn 65. But just saying, like, that's kind of like an old school, new school mixture there as well.
Yeah, I like that one. And then next up...
Oops, sorry.
So I'll fly through these next few couple, like, same kind of general premise here. We're looking at radio ads, billboards, being another two ways that are more so on the older side of what we used to do. But still hold a lot of weight. Like there's a lot of local radio stations that everybody listens to, especially in the senior demographic.
Oh, and again,
that's a loyal thing.
Back in those rural communities, we do a lot of radio advertising for the foundation that my husband and I started. We do a lot of radio advertising, and I'll tell you, the people who hear it is like my grandma.
Yeah,
she'll tell my mom, "I heard Olivia on the radio." And I think the thing is like. I'm just saying, I'm just getting to the point that you're trying to make before you are, but it's like just because it's not broken.
Right.
And that's what I love about marketing in general is that there's no wrong way to market. As long as you're being active and being conscious of your brand, being conscious of your message, there's no wrong way to do it as long as you're consistent with it. There might be more cost-effective ways.
Right.
There might be more energy-effective ways, but there's no wrong way as long as you're just being consistent with your message. So I love radio advertisement, especially in rural areas, getting on those farm stations where people are listening to. That's what's really worked for us. I'm a big fan.
And I feel the same way about billboards.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's more of you drive past it, you see it once, you're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you consistently are driving that same route to work, like I know there's a farmer's agent here that I used to go to high school with, that I see that, and I've, like, it's locked in my brain that that guy's a farmer's agent now. So, like, if anyone's talking farmers, I'm thinking of, his name's Will. And I'm just like, okay, I know Will does farmers.
Well, and it's hard to track the effectiveness of this style of marketing because no one's going to come to you and say, I saw your billboard, I came in. What's going to happen is that it's all what good marketing does. It's all about brand recognition and building trust because familiarity will equal trust, trust equals sales. So them seeing you consistently, no one's going to come in and say, I saw you on your billboard. That's why I called you. I called you off your billboard. But they are going to come in and say, it was just time. That's the same way, like, how do you equate your name with Kleenex? You just make it your name known and that you're in that space.
Yeah. So the last one I got on there is a website. This is kind of the newest of old school marketing that I could think of.
Yeah.
Is, I almost put this one on New School, and then I was talking with Sadie, and she was like, like...
No way is this new.
Internet's been around a long time, Clayton. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Thank you, Al.
So, looking at just having that online business card with your website, it's kind of the online billboard. It's just getting your name out there. It's there, so if people want to see if you're an actual business, if you're a trustworthy company, do you have a website? A lot of times is people's first stop.
Your website is your online resume, right? It should be pretty stagnant. You're not seeing a bunch of change. It is where somebody can go and see the validity of what you do and see, like, is this a good person? If you don't have a website, then you've basically lost all credibility. And it's like you're not even really in this space. I know, like, me personally, like, I have chosen, like, restaurants as far as, like, oh, they don't have a website, they must not be good.
Yeah. So looking at that is especially as like, it doesn't have to be the most fancy website in the world. It can be one page. It's more of a landing page just to show proof I exist and I am trustworthy.
Yes. If you have questions, we should honestly do a Medicare cafe on what makes a good website.
Let's do it.
So that might be something we need to do. Yeah, because that's something I've actually given speeches at a lot of conferences about that exact topic. And more is not always better, right? So in most cases, less is more. And we'll talk about that.
I like that.
Let's jump over to some new marketing techniques.
New marketing. So Facebook is definitely going to be like my top recommendation because of how often people are going to be seeing these different things and making sure it's just a passive way to stay in front of your clients.
I honestly think, again, like, Facebook is one that, like, Facebook should not be a new marketing piece. I've been doing this for 11 years, and Facebook, again, was kind of new 11 years ago. It's not now.
Right.
So if you don't have a Facebook page, you are dramatically missing opportunity. And we can talk a lot about that, about your online presence, but, like, I am teetering on is Facebook. Now, the advertising, the boosting, when you invest money into your Facebook, that's more new age. But just simply having a Facebook page is not new age.
That was like the best transition from website being like the newest of old school to this is the oldest of new school.
What a it was beautiful.
So not only just having that Facebook page, but talking about the different in Facebook ads versus boosting. I know we've talked about that a lot in the cafe before, but definitely something to be looking at. If you're not familiar with that, talk to us, talk to your upline, whoever that might be, and just be like, what should I be doing in these two
Should I be boosting? Should I be doing advertisements? What should my expectations be? What is the difference?
Like, what's my goal here?
Yeah.
That's usually the question I ask most. Like, if somebody's asking, should I throw money at ads or boosting posts? What should I do? I'm like, what do you want to do? Like, what's your goal? Not necessarily, do you want to add or boost? It's like, no, what's your goal? I can tell you which way we're needing to go.
Well, and I'll say like this. The question you need to ask yourself is, am I trying to build a presence and build my marketing, or am I trying to generate leads.
Right.
And the two of them are going to have very different responses. Obviously, like, well, I want to generate leads. Well, obviously, that's what we all want to do, but understanding that that's going to be the more expensive and the less brand building route compared to boosting, which is you will get leads, you will generate that stuff, but it's more of a long-term play and it accomplishes more. So I'm obviously a boosting fan versus a building your own Facebook lead fan. We can, if you guys have questions about the differences of that, let us know. We can kind of talk more about that at the end of the cafe.
For sure. Next, I put LinkedIn on here. I also feel like this one has been around quite a while, but however, over the last few years, it's kind of made a boom back into relevancy.
It is, yeah.
Now, this one's not going to be for marketing for clients. This one is marketing for potential strategic alliances.
AKA networking partners.
Exactly. So when you're using LinkedIn, it's more so focusing on your business versus any kind of specific plan details.
I'm sore.
Yeah.
I'm so sore. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's just, ow. She played golf.
I was going to do the robot. And then I was like, she don't bend that way anymore. I went golfing yesterday. I know you all feel very sorry for me, but I am sore. Please continue.
I'm trying not to be too jealous of it, but like I would also be very sore. So no, thank you. So, yeah. Focusing on the strategic alliance, the networking, focus on what you do and the value you bring your clients. Because you want to show other networking, I want to go this way, other networking partners what you do so that they come to you.
Next,
this one is one of your favorites.
TikTok.
It's TikTok.
This is where it got spicy. So let me drop the tea on what happened. I'm trying to bring up my energy. I feel myself just like,
I need to do this.
I need just like a posture and just power pose. So this is what happened. Also, like the red bouncing off me makes it look like I have fiery armpits.
This is so hot.
Sorry. So this is what happened. Okay, let me drop some tea. So we went to this event. There was somebody that were talking about. I won't say names, but they were talking about at the front of the stage. They were talking about how we need to be. What social media platform should we be on? One of the things was we need to be on LinkedIn. You're not going to get leads from that, but you need to be familiar to your networking partners. You want people to come to you and say, I want to be a magnet brand. I want to be a magnet organization. Come to me for help, right? That's business to business and business to consumer. So that's LinkedIn for you. They said social media. No, duh. 68% of people over the age of 55 are on social media. Is the fastest growing demographic for senior citizens. You need to be on Facebook. No, duh. We know this. Talking to a room of affiliates, get on there. Somebody asked the question. They said TikTok. And they said, you don't need to do TikTok because TikTok is for the grandkids of the generation. You don't need to be on there. And somebody said, I respectfully disagree. And I was like, that's not the spicy part. I said, please tell me more. I didn't say that. I wasn't on the panel.
You thought it.
I did. I said, interesting. So then she says, well, TikTok, again, is incredibly fast growing. It is a demographic to where she's absolutely correct in this. The way that the TikTok algorithm works is that an average Joe, anybody, can go viral, right? Yeah. And what does viral even mean anymore? But you can invest no money, no dollars, no time in something and still get your content in front of a wide range of people. And again, knowing that, yes, a lot of senior citizens are not on TikTok. However, when you post on TikTok, you can connect it to it automatically post on Facebook Reels. It automatically post on Instagram. It automatically posts on YouTube. So it has like the farthest spreading reach. You post one places and it's going to be everywhere compared to those other areas. Last but not least, on TikTok, again, the fastest growing demographic for TikTok is actually people who are our age. Our age demographic is actually outperforming the younger demographics. We're just joining it more, now compared to a few years ago. Our generation is also the caregiver generations. We have older parents oftentimes, and we are helping our parents coming up with making decisions around their healthcare, making decisions around their finances, making decisions about their insurance. And so when you're putting content in front of us, it does eventually get to, oftentimes we are the decision makers on behalf of our parents. which is all great. It's all accurate. I agree with her completely. I'm not on TikTok though. Like, and I'm not.
She gets mad if I send her a TikTok link.
I said I cannot follow you. I hate TikTok. And for me, I hate TikTok because I think I spend enough. We don't care why I hate TikTok. It's not because of the security reasons. It's because I am addicted to too many other platforms. I will not allow myself to get on TikTok. However, someone did raise the interesting question about what about China? I didn't know this, but apparently America actually purchased TikTok a few years ago.
We have our own side of it.
Yeah, so we all know, right? We all know the rumors behind TikTok. We know that, again, government employees are not allowed to download it. We do know other organizations have banned it because of when you give access. The algorithm works so well for TikTok because it watches everything your phone does, right? I think, and that's valid, and I understand that. I'm not going to sit here, and I'm not a cyber police. I don't know the risks of having TikTok, so I'm not going to be promoting it because I don't know the risks of it. I will say that you need to be where the people are, and the people are on TikTok. I'm not saying I will say you have to be on Facebook. That is a line I will make. You have to be on Facebook. I don't think you have to be on TikTok. Your job is easier if you're on TikTok, but I think you can do it without it. You have to be on Facebook. That's my final stance on this.
Yeah, and I'll throw out one thing on TikTok too. We've talked a million times about video being king. Mm-hmm. TikTok is just your easy platform for short form videos. Everything.
And Sadie makes a good point. Same thing, your video could go viral, but don't expect it to go viral. It's anything with social media. You will get oftentimes little to no interaction on your content, but it doesn't mean that it's not working. So people are still seeing it. It's still getting in front of people. It's still building that branding. It's still building that awareness. But your expectation shouldn't be likes, comments, and things like that. It should just literally be existence and consistency.
Yep.
Yeah. What about the mind control things that they put in your noggin? Brian, that's a different program that you specifically are a part of.
Yeah. You signed a waiver, Brian.
You signed a waiver, and that's not on us, okay? Now, the nice gentlemen, they're going to come in and give you a snack. You just eat that and go to sleep. Thank you, Brian.
So I'll group this last one here, or last two really quickly as well. So internet ads, we've talked about how we can do it through these different platforms, but that's still definitely something that people are needing to be aware of and start working with more.
That took a turn, Pete. Yeah. I'm going to look it up, but that I wasn't ready. You keep talking. Okay. Pete and I are going to sidebar.
So basically, there's just a lot of different ways that you can do ads online. My favorite right now is just going to Lead Center. You'll see a lot of those internet-based ads because of how effective these are. So they'll land on different platforms. People can post them on YouTube videos, they can post them on Facebook ads, whatever your options might be there. If you're not looking into internet ads, you need to be. And then the last one I put on there was personal URLs or PURLs. A lot of different platforms are getting these, and these are direct to consumer ways for a client to self-enroll. We've kind of had the ongoing theme of being where your clients are. A lot of people don't want to talk to anyone when they're buying something. They just want to go on Amazon, order the thing, have it shipped to them. It's over. They don't want to talk to a salesman. So I buy my shoes online because I hate going to Foot Locker and trying on shoes and talking to people. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Just send me my shoes. If they're wrong, I'll send it back and deal with it that way. So it's just being where the consumers are and how they want to go about that is what I look at personal URLs. There's a lot of different ways to enroll yourself. Carriers have them. We're looking at Medicare Center having its own personal URL, Plan and Enroll, Legacy Safeguard. All these different options are out there for people to do things on their own. Get them attached with your book of business. You can start being their support system going forward.
Did you know there was medical criteria for alcohol dependency? Anyways, Brian, Pete, to answer your question, you can actually get screened you can actually have 4 face-to-face counseling sessions a year if you are not medically dependent on alcohol. And then it does also cover inpatient counseling or inpatient mental health, which can include alcohol dependency. The more you know.
There we go.
Interesting.
So, there's the new school side.
Did you talk about Medicare or Lead Center?
Yes.
Okay.
The personal URLs.
Just on Lead Center without the personal URLs. The personal URLs are plan enroll. Plan enroll is, again, something that Integrity is putting. I keep wanting to say Integrity Marketing, but they're not that anymore. They're just Integrity.
Integrity.
The artist formerly known as Integrity Marketing, now Integrity. They are, again, what the plan enroll links are is them basically investing. They're trying to compete against these big advertisements, these big leads that are trying to like direct people to call centers. So again, I know Clayton explained it. Plan enroll is incredible. Make sure you're signed up for it. It basically puts you in the fight as far as like, let's get these people in front of local agents or agencies, not these huge call centers. So you're in the fight for that. I love that. But Lead Center also has a place where you can go and purchase internet leads, Facebook leads, YouTube leads, LinkedIn leads, buy all these different types of leads. And you don't have to do any of the work yourself. So you literally just go set up either a live campaign to where you're getting them real time, or you can go and purchase leads that are a day old, things like that, day old up to 6 months old. So depending on what your goal is with these leads and your price range, there's a lot that you can do. It's all on Lead Center. Just go to integrityleadcenter.com or integrity.com and you can access it there with your login. It is, if you're going to be purchasing leads, talk to us about Lead Center. It is basically if Amazon and a lead house had a baby, you get Lead Center.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
So next up we had talking about blending these two approaches, which we've kind of talked about throughout, because something I know Olivia's beat into my head is just that 3-prong approach of
other things.
Yeah. Of not putting all of your eggs in one basket. So if you are purely a mailer person, you've probably seen a lot of your leads disintegrating over the last few years. So if you want to continue doing your mailers because you're like, I know they work for my clientele, I know I want to keep doing that, adding in those couple other prongs of what we're going to be doing. So is it looking at internet leads on Lead Center? Or is it finally breaking through and getting that Facebook page because Olivia said you had to, or she's going to be mad at you?
It's no longer an option. And I will be talking to them blue in the face about social media. Facebook is not an option anymore. It's a cost of doing business. It's a business card. Yep. But I would also say, again, choose your 3-prong marketing system. Do it for 3 months to see if it works. Making sure the best marketing systems or marketing platforms will have both marketing and prospecting. So it should be doing both too, whereas in like you're getting your name out there, you're building your brand, but you're also doing something where you can do measurable results and start seeing clients with a much faster turnaround than like a billboard. So if you have questions on what your 3-prong marketing system should look like, make sure you call us, call our office, call our team, talk to Clayton. We actually just did an internal training last week about all the different lead styles. If you're using, again, like if it were me today, my 3-prong marketing system, I would probably doing some variation of purchasing leads from Lead Center, because that's if I was starting out and I'm still building my brand, right? I haven't quite gotten the referrals yet, like I would like to eventually get to. I'd probably be buying aged leads and just cold calling them. I would probably be doing seminars because seminars are the best marketing and prospecting approach. And my third one would be I'd be really investing in my networking partners and really driving and doing anything I can get to get in front of more networking partners. Social media is not a prong. It is a cost of doing business. Doing Facebook is not a prong of your marketing system. It is just doing business. And the same I think goes with like LinkedIn and things like that.
Yeah. So and all that is like following along with just being where your clients are, however they want to be marketed to. You want to make sure that you're doing those things. And the final kind of wrap it up point is try something new, get uncomfortable with the new marketing style. Like Olivia said, watch it for 3 months, see how it's going. So you might not think it's the best path. You try it out and it ends up working for you. Or you found out like, yeah, no, that's not the one for me.
I found out how not to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I love marketing. I love prospecting is science. Prospecting is all about numbers, follow-up times, turnaround times, how often you're talking to this person. True marketing, you got to be as creative as your budget will allow you, honestly. So there's no wrong way to do it as long as you're being compliant. Honestly, just getting creative, trying something new, getting out of your comfort zone is the only way to grow. So I'm here for it.
Ben and I literally put that bullet point on there for you.
Thank you.
I was having Ben look, and Ben's like, make sure you say something about being uncomfortable.
That is, like, if I could just have a mantra in my life, it is make yourself uncomfortable at least once a day.
You make me uncomfortable once a day.
I make you uncomfortable way more than once a day. And some days, in most ways, super not, what's the word I'm looking for? Whenever it's, like, not effective, but, like, work-related.
Yeah.
Not worth it. Anyways. But yeah, make yourself be uncomfortable with getting uncomfortable is the best advice I could give with that. And just try new stuff. And if you're not willing to do something new, then you are not going to grow. You are going to stick with, again, if you're still marketing the way that you did in 2013, your client base is getting older and older and older because you're going for the clients that you have, not for the kind of clients you want. For sure. So, perfect. Any final thoughts, my good friend?
I think that's all we got, unless we got some questions.
Any questions, comments, concerns, threats, or like a baby butterfly breaking out of that? I have a question about butterflies, actually. The chaos ensues.
Okay.
Is there such thing as a baby butterfly? Because isn't like you can have like a baby caterpillar, but once they're a butterfly, they're in adulthood.
I feel like they have like.
So do they like? Is it like a reset? Is there a reset to where like you're a baby again? Cause like
yeah, like
that's like
you get out of the cocoon, they gotta like flap off the
but
cocoon
like technically
juice.
that thing has been alive. Cocoon juice.
I don't know what's in a cocoon. I've never been in one.
Hated that. If you have real questions about Medicare, please let us know. Which does Magic Carrie do? Great question. And then we're gonna get back to the butterflies. So Carrie, thank you, Terry. Carrie, what her marketing prong system is, Carrie does not buy a lead. She has not bought a lead. She's actually like, considering like how successful she is in this, she's been doing this less than 5 years. She's actually been an agent for like, I think 3 years, 4 years now. The majority of her leads come from strategic partners. So she does both. She has two types of clients. One, the affluent, because she works with the financial planners, and two, Medicaid clients, and like nothing in between. So 100% of her clients are going to come from basically one of those referrals. She also does seminars. Carrie is huge on public speaking. So she does most of her clients during AEP. She said 90% of her clients were actually people who were retiring or turning 65. Most of them were not people seeing her because it was AEP, because of the seminars she was doing with those strategic alliances. She got with RSSA, which is basically the Social Security advisor. She can now charge a fee for being a Social Security advisor, and she doesn't. She just does seminars around Social Security, and that gains her a ton of Medicare referrals and Medicare clients. So her big ones are referral partners, which are the financial planners and also the food bank and Meals on Wheels. And then she does seminars and things like that. She's also now starting her TikTok account. So those are her three. TikTok, which is social media. It goes across all of social media. And referral partners. And seminars. So that's hers.
Yeah, she's really good at I've seen a bunch of her different TikToks on there.
She's incredible.
So, like, if you're looking for what do people post on there,
go follow Carrie.
Definitely go check out Carrie.
She does a question of the week. She goes, "This is the most asked question this week," and she'll do a question of the week. Then she'll post a lot of videos of her kids and her families and things like that. But she does an incredible job with that. So back to the butterflies. Is there such thing as I need ideas? Is there such thing as a baby butterfly? Because at that point, Carrie Vogt, VOGT. Carrie Vogt is her name. Kari. Vogt is VOGT.
I'll find her TikTok handle.
And good morning, Melissa. I think doesn't Melissa have a meeting with Ben coming up soon? I know he's really excited for that. Ben and Rachel.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think like this week.
It's this week?
Yeah. So excited to talk to you, Melissa. Anyways, Carrie Vogt. And yeah, Brian came up with the name Medicare, which Carrie is going to steal. Cookies for seniors.
Cookies for seniors. Adjust. That's her.
She's so pretty.
That's our friend.
That's our friend Carrie, co-host.
We're so proud of her.
We are. I'm very proud of Carrie. She's like, I want to be Carrie when I grow up.
Same. And we went to preschool together.
I was going to say we're the same age. No. So again, I guess we're out of time. I really want to discuss, do you think is there such thing as a baby butterfly? I asked that question today on the cafe. I need you to post this, take this snippet, post it, and talk about Is there such thing? Get a
There's
poll
a window.
going.
Okay.
Get a poll going.
This is exactly up my alley.
Is there such thing as a baby butterfly?
I feel like there's got to be like a 30-second window.
The only thing I can think like why is because they have to learn how to walk.
They're reborn.
They have to learn how to walk and they have to learn how to fly like
why
a
would they
baby.
walk?
You can.
If I'm a butterfly, I'm never walking again.
That's like saying, why would you walk when you can run? I'm sure flying's exhausting.
I run everywhere.
You run nowhere. I have known you for so long, and I've not seen you run ever.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's anyway.
But if I could fly, you'd never see me walking.
I bet flying is more exhausting than running.
Try it.
We can't.
We'll see.
Is there any such thing as a baby butterfly? Until next time, y'all, have fun.
Make money.
And give impeccable service. Thanks, guys.